Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. And today, I'm still continuing my Disney Christmas hybrid-a-thon, I guess. So for today, or tonight, or afternoon, whenever you're watching this, I'm going to be reviewing a clay animation film, folks. And it's a Tim Burton film. It's the one titled The Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, clay animation film, folks. I don't review clay animated films that often. And when you think about it, they don't make clay animated films hardly often at all, really. Really? Clay animation is a lost art form, if you ask me, but whatever. The Walt Disney Studios did help to produce this film and was released through another studio as well. And yeah, that's the thing. The reason behind this was basically that came off too gloomy and too dark at certain points, even though Bambi sees his mother died. That's pretty tragic. Merida from Brave almost gets eaten by a bear alive. There's also that one part where Belle is basically is kidnapped and kept there in some ways. Rapunzel was forced and trapped in here, folks, in the whole film. Poor Cinderella was abused by these characters in the original film, and Anna was pretty depressed because she couldn't see her sister right away. Also, Snow White was almost killed off early on in the whole film. So, what do you mean too dark? I don't get it. So, that doesn't make sense. So, the tone of this wasn't really that much different as far as I'm concerned. So, again, what do you mean too gloomy? Anyway, okay, this video is not really about that, but anyway, this film was actually both a critical and financial success for the studio, of course. And this film was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Visuals Effects, which of course is pretty good. The film was since has been reissued by Walt Disney Pictures and was re-released annually in Disney Digital 3D since for a while, I guess, because this happened from 2006 and 2009. So that's pretty good, I guess, folks, obviously. So anyway, like always, I do have to talk about the plots of this film. So let's get into it, shall we? So, of course, Halloween Town is this fantasy world filled with a number of these monsters and supernatural beings, of course, that want to do something for the holiday, of course. And there's this Pumpkin King, and the leader of the town leads them in this gathering, some sort of thing, the annual Halloween celebration kind of a thing. However, privately, the character Jack has grown weary of the same routine year after year after year after year, and wants, of course, to do something that's pretty new. And of course, that's what happens, obviously. So, the character wants to do something new and wanders into the woods the morning after Halloween, and he stumbles across these seven trees, so to speak, containing doors leading to towns that basically portray various holidays and opens a portal to Christmas Town, of course. And let's just say he's pretty much at awe by the unfamiliar holiday. Jack returns to Halloween Town to show the residents of his findings, so to speak. But of course, they fail to grasp the idea of Christmas, and compare everything to their ideas of Halloween. Although, yeah, I guess you could say I don't want to spoil anything really. Let me just stop there, folks. Of course, all I can say is if you have not seen this film as of yet, I'd say it's definitely worth your time because honestly, I didn't think it was that bad, folks. Really, because that's the thing. I can say the animation was pretty good. I genuinely was interested in the story overall. And yeah, I guess it's kind of weird for me to say that because I was never really a Tim Burns fan, like at all. I never cared for a lot of his movies really. That's why I hardly ever reviewed his movies, like hardly at all. And yeah, I don't care much for Tim Burns films really, but this wasn't. I guess this one wasn't too bad. I suppose. I recommend watching it if you have not seen it as of yet. And yeah, this is definitely one of the few Tim Burns films I actually liked, I guess. So the voice acting wasn't too bad, of course, and I did like the overall story, I guess. The Nightmare Before Christmas originated in a poem written by Tim Burton in the early 1980s while he was working as an animator at Walt Disney Fantasy Animation. With the success of this kinds of stuff of the same year, of course, Tim Burton himself had began to consider developing the film The Nightmare Before Christmas as either maybe as a short film or a 30-minute television special to no avail unfortunately, but that's the thing, folks. Over the years, Tim Burton thoughts regularly returned to this sort of project, and then in 1999, he made development deal with Walt Disney, of course. Like I said, they were trying to do this kind of production in the early July of 1999 in San Francisco. So obviously, some sort of deal was struck. Obviously, like we're saying about the whole um, that one film studio brought up a moment ago. Yeah, that's how it kind of like led to that to some degree, I guess. So there's like a little history behind this film, is what I'm saying. So the history behind this film is actually pretty interesting on its own as well, if you ask me, because I know I've said this before in some of my other videos where I was explaining that making a movie can be pretty difficult. Yes, it is. And I can only imagine how long this project might have taken to actually animate it, let alone get to it to actually make it. So, yeah, this film was actually on my, to-do list. Yep, it's to-do list. It feels like it's never going to end. No siree. So yeah, folks, I just figured I wanted to review this because, I guess, like I said, I wanted to do like a Christmas Disney kind of a thing going on here, folks. Yes, siree. So anyway, the voice acting is good. The script writing for this picture was well written. It's pretty creative in its own way. It's actually pretty solid. It will get an overall rating of a 7.3 out of 10. I give it a 7.3 out of 10. Of course, as always, thanks for watching and take care. Until next time. Oh yeah.